In terms of wide receivers, so we already kind of talked about Terrace Marshall. He is 6% rostered. So our DJ Moore dream had to die so Terrace Marshall could live. But it is 2 weeks in a row that are good for fantasy. He caught 4 of 9 for 87 yards against Atlanta, and then 3 of 6 for 53 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals, in spite of a mid-game change at quarterback. So, I mean, you got to at least give credit where credit is due, because a lot of people wrote him off after last year being pretty disappointing, and he's dealing with a tumultuous at best quarterback situation this year and still kind of putting up numbers. So I think that, against the Falcons this week, he should definitely be viable. He did well last week, and Atlanta's pass defense is just so exploitable. So I really like him there. Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, I just grouped them together. If you can get one of them, I guess maybe, because again, the Giants didn't add someone, and if they don't add Odell Beckham, they're stuck with who they have. They got rid of Kadarius Toney, who, by the way, miraculously healed from the hamstring strain, playing on the Chiefs. Weird how that happens, but the Giants, as mentioned, they get the Texans and the Lions next, so both guys could be relatively low upside to plays, but at least in a deeper league if you need like a warm body. DeAndre Carter of the Chargers, 31% rostered. He entered the week with an illness, did play. I mean, they're just so decimated at receiver. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen. Williams dealing with a high ankle sprain, and Allen, earlier in the week, he was saying to media that he was 100%. He had not been 100% before. He's 100% now, and then he's rolled out, so presumably has suffered some kind of setback, and just knowing his history and his age, I mean, it certainly feels like Carter will have some more opportunities there behind Josh Palmer, and then the list thins from there. Mecole Hardman would probably be my next guy, but he might be a little bit of fool's gold. What about you, Mike?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of a pat on the back first for last week's list, because the first two names on it that aren't on it anymore were Josh Palmer and Rondale Moore. And they both delivered, and they're only like 72% rostered. So both of them, I think,
Palmer
really,
for sure.
Really good targets. Well, Rondale Moore is now kind of permanently in the slot, so even when Marquise Brown goes back, at least they know where he's supposed to play in this offense. So those are two guys to look for if 70% is, if you're in the 30% of leagues. The only problem with adding Terrace Marshall this week, you would then feel like you should watch the Atlanta-Carolina game on Thursday night. So it would be that would be a negative reason to invest in any of those. I sorry if you did. I know it's on your list, but did you mention Donovan Peoples-Jones? He might sneak under the radar since they were on a bye week, but he's carved out a little bit of a role for Cleveland. And I mentioned earlier Jarvis Landry. Like I said, I don't know for sure if he's going to play Monday night or be limited, but he is very close to coming back. He's missed a lot of time, but when he comes back, he's going to be the number 2 receiver in the Saints offense next to Chris Olave, and it's going to be number 2 permanently. So we found out Michael Thomas is out for the rest of the year. So he's a guy that I think belongs certainly higher on the list than some of these people. I noticed you did not mention Sammy Watkins though. No faith there, huh?
Well, I just have little faith that Sammy Watkins can really be in a featured role, just based on the fact that he's made of glass. But at least for Donovan Peoples-Jones,
I do have one more. Isaiah McKenzie in Buffalo. He was really hot. I picked him up too many times before the season started and have dropped him. So I'm disappointed to see that he seems to be getting his role back in Buffalo, in a place where he's started to get a little more traction, even with Josh Allen only throwing for like 200 and some yards. So when Josh Allen starts throwing for 400 and some yards again, he's a sneaky good pickup, I think.
Definitely. And I like the Donovan Peoples-Jones call for sure. David Njoku's out, and Deshaun Watson could be inching back, in a few weeks, at least on the horizon, and Harrison Bryant is not the answer. So I think that, the targets have to go somewhere. So Peoples-Jones definitely be the beneficiary, because Amari Cooper can't carry all the water for the Browns.